Hello dear students of class 12, a very pleasant good morning to you all. Hope all of you are keeping fine and doing very well in your life. Yes dear students, today we are going to learn short story number 9, that is The Sound Machine. The Sound Machine is the story we are going to learn. It's story number 9 and it is written by Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl. Let us get some introductory information about this story writer, that is our Roald Dahl, born on 13th September 1916 and died in the year 1990, 23rd November 1990, was a British novelist, story writer, poet, screenwriter, a fighter pilot. His books have sold more than 250 million copies worldwide. From that range, you can understand how great this author is. Born in Wales to Norwegian parents, Dahl served in the Royal Air Force during the Second World War, in which he became a flying ace and intelligence officer, rising to the rank of acting wing commander. He rose to prominence in 1940s with works for both children and adults, and he became one of the world's best-selling authors. He has been referred to as one of the greatest storytellers for children of the 20th century. His awards for contribution to literature include in 1983 World Fantasy Award for Life Achievement and the British Book Awards Children's Author of the Year in 1990. In 2008, the Times placed Dhal 16th on its list of the 50 greatest British writers since 1945. In this sound machine, let us have a short view of this story sound machine. The sound machine was first published in the New Yorker 17 September 1949. It has also appeared in the collections of More Tales of the Unexpected, that is 1980. Someone Like You and Skin and Other Stories. It combines science fiction with conservation in a fantastic tale that hovers between illusion and reality. Dear, excuse me, dear students, now who are the characters that we find in this particular story? The first two characters are there, that is Klusner, maybe the scientist we can say, and Dr. Scott. They are the two characters present here. And what is the summary that we are going to learn from this story? Please look at the board here one time. That is Klusner's experiment. Klusner's experiment. Second one, visit of Dr. Scott. Then Klusner's theory on sound. Klusner has developed one particular theory related to sound, that is theory. Then fourth point, Klusner at work. He is busy at work for making a sound machine. Then a painful scream, his experiment. Fifth point, his experiment with the machine, and he recognizes the painful cry of the plants and trees. Then the sixth one, a wail of a tree. Wail of a tree means weeping, lamentation. A sad cry of the tree, sudden sad cry of a tree. Then the damage of the machine, how he is machine got damaged, and a strange, the last point is a strange request to Dr. Scott. This is what we are going to learn in this short story. Alright, I would like to tell you the theme. What are the themes that is highlighted in this story? Two themes which are new and crazy ideas. New and crazy ideas, and the second one, maybe the first theme, that should be concern for environment. Yes, dear students, these are the things that we are going to have in general. Please have a look at this blackboard, then you will understand the things that I have written here. Now, I would like to take your attention to the story that is on page number 99, story number 9. I will read each paragraph and I will explain it to you. It was a warm summer evening, and Klusner walked quickly through the front gate and around the side of the house and into the garden at the back. He went on down the garden until he came to a wooden shed, and he unlocked the door, went inside and closed the door behind him. So here Klusner is walking behind his house through the garden and reaches a wooden shed, probably his experiment house or the laboratory. The interior of the shed was an unpainted room. It was not painted. Against one wall on the left, there was a long wooden workbench. In a workshop, imagine a workshop, a workbench, and on it, among a littering of wires and batteries and small sharp tools, there stood a black box about 3 feet long, the shape of a child's coffin, almost sound machine. Of course, after this class, I will be sending you the link of this story. Then you can watch that one, the movie as such, that you can watch as you have watched in our how to build a fire. Yes. So, in the second paragraph, it tells the situation inside the workroom or workshop. What all things were there? Workbench is there. On it, among the littering of wires, so many wires are there, and the batteries and small sharp tools, there stood a black box about 3 feet long, the shape of a child's coffin. So there was a black box of there's a 3 feet long, maybe the 3 feet you can calculate. Klusner moved across the room to the box. So he slowly walked and reached near the box. The top of the box was open. The top part of the box was open, and he bent down and began to poke and peer inside it among a mass of different colored wires and silver tubes. He poked inside, poking, knocking, checking. Like you may have seen, when we find something, what we do? We tap and see whether these things are working or not, isn't it? Yes. Like this is called poking and looking inside. Yes. The top of the box was open, and he bent down and began to poke and peer inside it among a mass of different colored wires and silver tubes. Peer inside, look inside, observe. He picked up a piece of paper that lay beside the box, studied it carefully, put it down, peered inside the box and started running his fingers along the wires, tugging gently at them to test the connections, glancing back at the paper, then into the box, then at the paper again, checking each wire. He did this for perhaps an hour, observing, looking at the paper, what is written there, then again looking at the machine. tapping, checking, connecting, all those things. See, for example, if this is the box, see, after doing the observation, everything again, what he does, look at the paper, yes, checking whether the things, wires, batteries, all those things inside the box is connected properly. Then he put a hand around into the front of the box where there were three dials, and he began to twiddle them. Dials means the buttons, like radio, no? The buttons, yes. The turning off and on, yes. And he began to twiddle them. Twiddle means to on them, play, work. Watching at the same time the movement of the mechanism inside the box. All the while he kept speaking softly to himself, nodding his head, nodding and shaking his head, smiling sometimes, his hands always moving the fingers, moving swiftly, deftly inside the box, his mouth twisting into curious shapes when a thing was delicate or difficult to do, saying yes, yes. And now this one, yes, yes, but this is right. Is this right? Is it? Where's my diagram? Just looking and checking all the things. Yeah, yes, of course, yes, yes, that is right. And now, good, good, yes, 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 yes. After all these things, all these dialogues naturally comes as a listener was observing the sound machine, the box, checking its connectivity, all those things. His concentration was intense, very deep. His movements were quick. There was an air of urgency about the way he worked, of breathlessness, of strong, suppressed excitement. Suddenly, he heard footsteps on the gravel path outside, and he straightened and turned swiftly as the door opened and a tall man came in. It was Scott. It was only Scott, the doctor. Yes. Now the second character came. What we are saying, our listener, he was observing the machine, the box, checking its connections, all those things, and talking to himself, sometimes finding, yes, yes, it works properly, or it is not working, yes, it is not like that, no, 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 no. As he was doing all these things, he heard the footstep of somebody walking. Yes, who was that? Dr. Scott, the second character of the story. Well, doctor said. So this is where you hide yourself in the evenings. Okay, doctor comes and says the dialogue. Okay, this is the place where you hide yourself in the evening hours. Hello, Scott, listener said. Hello means hello. I happen to be passing, the doctor told him. I happen to be passing. Means I was going through this way, yes. I happened to be passing, the doctor told him. So I dropped in to see how you were. So I just dropped in to check how you were. There was no one in the house. So I came on down here. How is that throat of yours behaving? How is your throat now? What is the condition? Okay, now doctor as a doctor, he must have been the family doctor of Klusner. Thus he came and inquired, yes, how is your throat? Maybe throat infection. It's all right, it's fine. Klusner said, it's all right, it is fine. Now I'm here, I might as well have a look at it. Okay, as I am here, I would like to have a look at it. Okay, as I am here, I will check your throat. Now I am here, I might as well have a look at it. Please don't trouble, I am quite cured, I am fine. Please don't trouble, please don't. I am quite cured, I am all right. The doctor began to feel the tension in the room. So our Klusner is busy in checking and observing the box seriously, very intensely. At that there came doctor for a checkup of his patient. So he did not like. Imagine a situation where you are busy in doing something and somebody unexpectedly reaches your house and disturbs. What do you feel? The same is the condition with our Klusner. The doctor began to feel the tension in the room. He looked at the black box on the bench. Then he looked at the man. "You have got your hat on," he said. "You have got your hat on," he said. "Oh, have I?" Klusner reached up, removed the hat and put it on the bench. "See, you have got your hat on. You are wearing your hat." He removed and this one. Why? It's a mark of respect, wearing. So when we find a person, respectable person, a senior person, we automatically lift our hat, then we put it down, or at least call it our bench. Yes. "Oh, have I?" Klusner reached up, removed the hat and put it on the bench. The doctor came up closer and bent down to look into the box. "What is this?" he said. "Making a radio? Are you making a radio?" So looking at the black box, our Dr. Scott asked Klusner, "Okay, tell me, what is this? Are you making a radio?" "No, just fooling around. Just fooling around, just playing." It's got rather complicated, looking inwards. Looking inwards, it is getting rather complicated. Yes, Klusner seemed tense and distracted. Yes, Klusner was looking distracted, tense and distracted. "What is it?" the doctor asked. "It is rather frightening looking thing, isn't it?" "It is a rather frightening, which causes some fear looking thing, isn't it?" "It's just an idea." "Yes. It has to do with sound, that's all." Yes, this machine has to do something this machine has to do something with sound. Good heavens, man, don't you get enough of that sort of thing all day in your work? Good heavens, man, don't you get enough of that sort of thing all the day in your work? I like sound. So it seems. The doctor went to the door, turned and said, "Well, I won't disturb you. Glad your throat is not worrying you anymore." But he kept standing there, looking at the box, intrigued by the remarkable complexity of its inside, curious to know what this strange patient of his was up to. "What is it really for?" he asked. "You have made me inquisitive, curious." He said, "Yes." So Dr. Scott really could not understand what is the condition of Mr. Klusner. So he said, once again that paragraph, "So it seems," the doctor went to the door, turned and said, "Well, I won't disturb you. Glad your throat is not worrying you anymore." But he kept standing there, looking at the box. Intrigued, doubtfully looking, suspiciously looking, by the remarkable complexity of its inside. Remarkable complexity inside means connecting the wires inside. Curious to know what this strange patient of his was up to. The doctor was waiting there to see what his patient, that is Mr. Klusner, is up to. What is it really for? What he is making for? What is the purpose? He said, "You have made me inquisitive." Klusner looked down at the box, then at the doctor, and he reached up and began gently to search the lobe of his right ear. Turn the lobe of his right ear. There was a pause. The doctor stood by the door, waiting, smiling. All right, I will tell you if you are interested. There was another pause, and the doctor could see that Klusener was having trouble about how to begin. Now, our Klusener thought of telling what was inside his heart. So he thought, all right, I will tell you if you are interested. There was another pause, and the doctor could see that Klusener was having trouble about how to begin. He was shifting from one foot to the another, shifting from one foot to the another, tugging at the lobe of his ear, looking at his feet, and then at last slowly he said, well, it's like this. The theory is very simple, really. The human ear. You know that it can't hear everything. Yes, that is true. The theory, this part is very important. The human ear, you know that it can't hear everything. There are sounds that are so low pitch. There are sounds that are so low pitch or so high pitch that it can't hear them. See, what we hear, dear students, what sound we hear? We hear the moderate sound. According to this theory, this is the point here. Where is that point? The Klusener's theory on sound. Klusener's theory on sound is that there are so low pitched sounds and there are so high pitched sounds which our human ears are not able to listen or hear. You know that it can't hear everything. There are sounds that are so low pitched or so high pitched that it can't hear them. Yes, the doctor said yes. Well, speaking very roughly, any note so high that it has more than 15,000 vibrations, a sound, we can't hear it. Once again, well, speaking very roughly, any note so high that it has more than 15,000 vibrations, any high sound that it has got 15,000, see 15,000 vibrations echoes, a sound we cannot hear it. Dogs have better ears than us. Yes, the listening capacity of the dogs and other insects, birds, birds are so high than ours. You know, you can buy a whistle whose note is so high pitched that you can't hear it at all, but a dog can hear it. See, dogs have better ears than us. You know, you can buy a whistle whose note is so high pitched that you can't hear. If you make a whistle sound, if you go so high, we cannot hear that one at all, but a dog can hear it. Yes, I have seen one, the doctor said. With one more paragraph, I will stop here, alright. Of course you have, and up the scale, higher than the note of that whistle, there is another note, a vibration. If you like, put a prefer to think of it as a note. You can't hear that one either. And above that, there is another and another rising right up the scale for ever and ever and ever, an endless succession of notes and infinity of notes. There is a note if only ours ears could hear it, so high that it vibrates a million times sound, and another a million times as high that, and on, higher and higher, so far as numbers go, which is infinitely, eternity beyond the stars. what our listener is saying. Whatever sound is there, that sound echoes and vibrates and it goes on and which we are not able to listen. But the vibration of that sound is there which our human ears are not able to hear. What we hear, dear students, what we hear is only the moderate sound that comes from our earth, from different parts of our life. Other than that, if it is so low sound, we are not able to hear that one. Or if we are hearing the high sound, blasting sound, that also deafening sound, then also we are not going to hear that. Yes, thus we have completed here the 3 points. Klusner's experiment with the machine, the box, then visit of Dr. Scott, then Klusner's theory. He was trying to explain to Dr. Scott. Then we will stop here and we continue in our next class. Hope the things are clear for you. Until then, goodbye. See you in our next class. Thank you.